Brigadier General Oliveira, Sergeant Major Retired Williams, Sergeant Major Retired Espinoza, Mr. Okinaka, other distinguished guests, cadre, faculty, parents, family, friends, and especially the 58 graduating class of Class 160111. Aloha.
Aloha.
You know, it's truly an honor and somewhat bittersweet for me to be here today to deliver this address. And I say bittersweet because a few years ago, I believe 2011 it was, my dad, the late Senator Gilbert Kahele, was preparing his own commencement remarks for Class 04. And I can remember helping him gather his thoughts on what he wanted to say. So for me to be here today is truly full circle. And thank you for allowing me to play a small part by celebrating this personal achievement in your lives. Now, the job of a speaker is, aside from keeping it short and sweet, is to inspire. It is hopefully to leave you with something, one thing that will help you in your future lives. But as I look at this class, what is clear to me is that each and every one of you are the source of inspiration today. To me, to your family, to your community, to your state, and to your country, you have all earned the right to be here today. Now, I'll be quite honest, even though I knew I'd be speaking for some time, I really did not know what I was going to say until last week, Friday, when I had the privilege of spending time with each and every one of these cadets at morning PT and breakfast. And oh, by the way, that was one of the best, most rewarding mornings I've had in a long time. And as I drove away, thinking about the conversations I had with some of you and your cadre instructors, I realized exactly what I wanted to leave with all 15 of you here today. So I'd like to start off by telling you a story. And this is a true story, and it's a story about a good friend of mine who I grew up with here in Hilo. We were the same age. We came from a good, loving, caring family. Both parents worked hard, sacrificed to put food on the table, clothes on his back, and gave him and his sister all the things kids want when they grow up. Like I said, they lived in Hilo. They had a nice home, and both he and his sister went to YKS schools. He played sports, he went fishing and diving with his dad, and the family went on family trips together every year, Disneyland being their most favorite place. And for the first 15 years of his life, everything was great. A normal kid growing up in Hilo. Then something happened when my friend started the 9th grade at YK High School, and maybe you cadets can relate. He was all of a sudden a small fish in a big pond. And many of his friends he had grown up with were all trying to find their way as young 15-year-old freshmen in this new big high school. So, vulnerable and looking for acceptance, my friend found other kids, some of them older than he was. Individuals, both girls and guys, who found themselves getting into some type of trouble. But they took him in, they accepted him, and they gave him the comfort and the friendship he was looking for. But this group wasn't the school athletes, the band, or the cheerleaders, the chess club, or the robotics club. These were the kids that liked fast cars, loud music, street racing, going out at night, drinking, smoking, cutting class, and hanging out. And now why my friend decided to do those things, I don't know. But he did. And in the span of the 3 years, in those 3 years, he almost threw away, his entire life. Over the course of the next 3 years, this friend went from this young, innocent child to a troubled teenager. He drank alcohol, smoked cigarettes, cut class, stopped playing sports. Sound familiar? His grades plummeted, and although he was smart, almost too smart, because he managed to pass his classes barely every year. But then he started getting into trouble with the law, getting in fights at school, and driving his parents as well as his teachers absolutely crazy. By the time he was a junior, his parents had enough. And they transferred him to St. Joseph's, hoping that by taking him out of that environment, it would help him. But it didn't. In fact, it got worse because St. Joe was such a small school, and my friend who had this ability to draw people toward him started bringing those bad decisions there as well. And in 2 months into his senior year, at St. Joseph's, the school and administration, they had enough. And they kicked him out and asked him to never come back. The police were onto my friend because of all the mischief he was causing. And his dad, who had friends in the police department, even went as far as putting him in jail for a few hours, just to scare him and teach him a lesson. Now back then there was no Youth Challenge Academy, which is probably where he would have gone. So instead his parents had only one option left. And they enrolled him in Hilo High School, November of his senior year. And a funny thing happened at Hilo High. He met new friends that would help him slowly get back on track. He had a guidance counselor and a few teachers who were determined to help this boy and get him to graduation later that year. They stayed on him every single day, and they made sure those outside influences never came around. And slowly my friend would get better and better. And although he would barely manage a 2.0 grade point average, he graduated from Hilo High in the spring of 1992. And now this kid went to all 3 high schools in Hilo. He had got in trouble with the law. He had to perform community service. He drove his parents crazy and came very, very close to making huge mistakes. And if he were an adult, probably would have landed him in jail. But he graduated. He walked the line. And he got his high school diploma. Something no one, not even myself, would have ever thought possible. In the summer of that year, my friend decides he wants to go to college. And he quickly finds out he doesn't have the grades or the SAT scores to even get into the University of Hawaii at Hilo. So he starts his higher education at Hilo Community College. That's the only place he could go. And he works hard to prove to himself and his parents and the system that he was college academic material. He also starts flying airplanes. He meets a former Olympic volleyball player, now turned coach, named Pete Velasco, who spends the next 2 years with my friend in the Hilo High School gym, rewiring his brain and teaching him what hard work, and honesty, and teamwork, and integrity, humility, and compassion truly means. And my friend just blossoms. He just takes off. Within 2 years, he transfers to UH Hilo, then to UH Manoa. In 1994, he walks on to the UH men's volleyball team, and he's the last person to make that team that year. He's also a licensed commercial pilot flying tours around the Big Island. In 1997, he's honored as a scholar athlete and the most inspirational player on the UH men's volleyball team, and is invited back to Hilo High School in 1997 to give the commencement address. Can you believe that? Well, it doesn't stop there. My friend goes on to graduate from UH Manoa with a bachelor's degree in education in 1998. He gets into the Air National Guard in 1999, gets commissioned as a military officer, a second lieutenant in 2001. The Air Force then spends over $1 million in my friend sending him to Air Force pilot training. There he flies fighter jets, the F-15, the C-130, the C-17, deploys to Afghanistan and Iraq, and for the next 7 years flies hundreds of combat missions in direct support of the war on terrorism and in the defense of our nation. Today he has been in the military for 15 years and is a major in the Air National Guard. But it doesn't stop there. My friend gets married, he has children, he owns his own home, he gets hired by Hawaiian Airlines as a commercial airline pilot in 2009. He then spends the next 5 years giving back, volunteering, running a nonprofit that touches the lives of hundreds of Native Hawaiian and rural disadvantaged children through cultural grants and programs. They start a canoe club, and he even leads a community grassroots fundraising effort, raising over $120,000 when their village is devastated by the dengue outbreak this past December. Then, unexpectedly, earlier this year, my friend's dad dies from a heart attack. And would you believe it? The governor of the state of Hawaii selects him at 42 years old to be a state senator. Now, that story almost sounds too good to be true, but it is a true story, and it is my story. My friend is actually me. I've never publicly shared that story before, and I did so not because I wanted to brag or tell you all the great things I have accomplished. I shared it with you because I want you to know that I know exactly how you feel. I have walked in your shoes. 25 years ago right now, I will be sitting right next to you today. I am living, breathing proof that you can make the impossible possible, that it is never ever too late, that if you never give up, you can become anything you want to be. 6 months ago, you were hurt, angry, disappointed, afraid, lost, and confused. Today, you are strong, confident, unafraid, motivated, hungry, and ready to take on the world. You have self-respect, self-discipline, structure, and the educational tools to be successful adults and contributing members to our society. But it had to come from inside. It had to start with you. And by making it here today and completing this program, you have made a big decision in your lives to be accountable for yourselves by determining your own futures. What is important for each of you to know is that you have given yourselves a second chance. Your hard work over the last 6 months has helped shape your future. And when you leave the program today, know that you leave with the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities to propel yourselves into a brighter tomorrow. Each of you has the potential to achieve greatness, to be anything you want to be. And from this day forward, never look back. Set your sights on the next horizon, the next great challenge, and be the person you always wanted to be. I also want you to know something else, and this is very, very important. Those challenges, those people, those influences, whatever it was that brought you here 6 months ago, is still out there. They are still out there on the other side of that gate. And they have no idea what you just went through, but it doesn't matter. They don't care. They want you back. I almost went back. But once I took that first step, there was no turning back. And historically, 5% of you, or at least 3 in this group of 58, will go back. And since you don't know who that will be, my message is to all of you, be strong. When you're faced with adversity, with difficult choices, and you will be, think about what you learned here, and most importantly, think before you act. And you know what? It will happen when you least expect it, when you are the most vulnerable. If you are not sure, walk away. Run away if you have to. Call your family, call your mentors, call your cadre instructors. Call me for that matter. I'm going to give you 58 of my card, my personal card with my cell phone number on it. Use it if you need to. We want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. We want to help you make the right choices, so know that you're not alone. We are here for you. We believe in you. And when you walk out of here today, know that you leave here with a clean slate. Whatever happened in the past is history. Your future begins right now. You know, a successful program is only as good as a youth challenge, staff members, directors, and mentors that dedicate their selfless service and commitment to its success. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize them. So will you please join me in giving a round of applause for their outstanding effort in making closing, graduates, I would like to leave you with a quote from Harriet Tubman, who was born a slave in the 1800s, became a civil rights advocate, and who pioneered the Underground Railroad, leading hundreds of slaves to freedom, which says, "Every great dream begins with the dreamer." Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and to change the world. Class 11, well done. I salute you. Congratulations, and don't forget to reach for the stars. Mahalo.
Thank you, Senator Kahele. We will now proceed on to